Hello, I'm Mark Baer. You're watching YourTown TV. I'm with Will Bullas, artist and president of the board of the Carmel Art Association, which I believe is celebrating its 90th birthday.
Yes, indeed, we are.
So give me a little background about this.
We were founded in 1927 by about 19 artists who had migrated from the San Francisco Bay Area. Very talented people. Many were members of the National Academy. Had spent some time on the Monterey Peninsula after the earthquake, and decided how beautiful it was and how much they loved it, and decided to stay here and establish residences here. So they decided they needed a place to display and show their artwork. So they formed the Carmel Art Association. It's not a collection of galleries, although it sounds a little bit like it. It is not that kind of an association. But it's a singular organization that is a cooperative. Today we have about 85 to 90 members that are active artist members participating every month. And since 1927, the artists have owned and operated. In 1954, I believe, we paid off the mortgage, and we can proudly say that we own the property and the building. We maintain a wonderful staff, full-time staff that takes care of, that knows intimately the artists, their families, the artwork, the styles, and so on, and helps communicate between that point A and point B. Point A being the artwork, point B being the fan, client, collector, and so on. And it's just a nice balance, We were talking about entrepreneurship. Within the Carmel Art Association and those active members, there are many entrepreneurs who, some are not part-time but previous architects and doctors, etc., and who have decided to make painting and creating their second livelihood, and that has come about. We collectively have a brand new show every month. There isn't another gallery on the Monterey Peninsula who can say that they have a brand new show. The board of directors hangs a new show from the new artworks that are brought in every month. The first Wednesday of every month the shows change, and that following Saturday we have a grand opening. So nobody else on the peninsula can do that. And we realize the strength of power in numbers, and strength in numbers. So we collectively get together. We make sure that we have the enough wine for the artist opening, enough appetizers, and so on, and this person will take care of that, and so on. So collectively we can do these wonderful things. It makes us wonderful and makes us even to the point where we publish our own books. This is our 90th annual publication for a historical show we have. We have a small but very unique library of books for sale.
Wow, wow.
And then there is one of our images that will show with the cover. Every year we produce our own catalog.
Let's show the images first this time.
We'll do that.
Then the people might know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is the Carmel Art Association since 1927. The next image, I think, is the exterior, of our art association on Dolores Street between 5th and 6th. We've been there for a long time. It's a glorious place to go. A wonderful, inviting front garden.
This is Carmel.
Carmel on Dolores Street between 5th and 6th. We're open 7 days a week, 10 to 5. Closed significant holidays and so on. And then we'll probably move to a shot of the interior.
Great, look at that.
Yeah, it's a wonderfully spacious gallery. The board of directors, we among ourselves appoint a chair for every month, so we have a new chairman that does. So there's a little bit of a flavor that changes, but all the artists, the 85 plus artists that bring in brand new work every month, there's no criteria. They bring in several works and they all get hung. Most of them get hung, depending on our wall space and how big the artists are going to, canvases are going to bring in.
Let's see, move on, here we go.
And this one, for the past 6 years, the Carmel Chamber of Commerce has graced us with our award of excellence for the gallery, and we are very proud of that. The Monterey County Weekly has awarded us Best Contemporary Art Gallery for the past number of years. And then let's see, what's our next image here? And this is our catalog that we put out every year. Instead of, and we were talking a little bit in the earlier segment about the digital world. Now, collectively, when you put 85 plus minds together, somebody's got to come up with a brilliant idea. So we think we came up with a brilliant idea. We did not need middlemen as in prior to the digital world, to produce our own catalogs. The Carmel Art Association produced its own 90th annual catalog, an absolutely wonderful piece of literature.
Put that to the camera somewhere.
Superbly put together.
There we are.
And then our annual catalogs that come out give a double-page spread for all the artists to give the viewers a sample of what we carry, the artists that we carry. And we not only publish that ourselves, but we also give that away free to anybody who comes into the gallery. All of our associate members, which we have a significant number of people who are fans of, clients, and just friends of the Art Association. You can't be around since 1927 and not gain and have a whole collection of friends, okay? And because of our monthly artist receptions, you can come to that artist reception. More than likely, you see me at the front door, welcome you to our opening. But so many of our artists, we'll have 30 or 40 artists show up every Saturday, the first Saturday of every month, for the artist opening. And it's a grand thing because along with the digital world, it has forced people into social media, social consciousness. So artists no longer hide in a cold water flat or a garret somewhere, you know, and have an agent take care of them. Now we know we can take control. We have the tools, we have the opportunity. We can promote our own work. We have a media specialist, Carmen, at the Art Association, who takes care of our website, et cetera, et cetera. We are up on the latest and the greatest and making sure that it's out there. We're sort of like a hot new restaurant that's been going on for many years. We use the latest local materials, okay, which are our artists. All of our artists are local within the 35-mile radius. An amazing diversity of styles and techniques and mediums. We carry only original artwork. We do not carry photography, and the only reason we don't carry that is because there are other galleries that specialize in that and do so much better job and have better wall space. We are limited on wall space. We talked a little bit about membership and getting into the Art Association. It's a brutal gauntlet to run.
It's stringent, I know.
It is.
Yes.
It is very hard. I have been a member since 1980, which you do the math. So I kind of know the ins and outs, okay? And it's tough, and I've seen so many wonderful artists apply to the for membership and so on. And it's not like jumping a single hurdle. There's 3 major hurdles that you have to jump. And after, if you get through that, then you still are put on a 6-month probationary list, okay? And we invite all of our artists to participate. You help out, pass around hors d'oeuvres during that, help clean up, help adjust lights and things like that. So when we do have our grand opening, things are very polished
the trains run.
Oh yeah,
and that is really impressive. You know, we talked about the romanticism of art, and also even I know you just had a big fundraiser where you sold a lot of the you know, the original members' art.
Right, some historical pieces.
Some historical pieces.
Right.
But I wonder, 50 years from today, if they're going to look back on this as a historical period, and these guys were around, and these guys.
I think so.
How do you see your own time? You know, how do people? You know, how does one have the ability to see one's own time? Because there's some really good work in here.
Well, what's interesting is I would have to say, and I know all the artists, I would have to say almost all of them are very comfortable in what they do. And I think that's a major key, because they do not, so many of our artists have a certain style or a subject matter that they will work with, and rather than coming in and say, well, does this work? Does this work? You know, they actually come in and say, this is what I've done and I know it works, okay? So they're all professionals in that aspect, and they bring in some wonderful new stuff. They'll once in a while deviate off here. Some of our landscape painters will say, this time I'm going to bring in some figurative pieces and so on. So they're encouraged to explore, okay? But you can always count on a very high quality level of artwork. All our people are professionals, okay? Not all of our artists that have been making a living have been as lucky and blessed as I am to have been making a living for so long. But they're very serious and very comfortable with their artwork. So there's always something new to see and a neat place to just come and talk with people.
Yeah, and like I said, there's some really fabulous work in there. I mean, anything, you know, again, Lucas Bloch's work is fabulous. Jeffrey Beckham's work always just stands out to me.
Absolutely.
There's some landscape painters.
With wonderful plein air painters like Mark Farina.
Yes, fabulous. So there's some people that I think many years from today, these people will be collected and thought of. And, you know, it's hard to think of one's own age as a grand age, because we always
absolutely,
think the grand age is in the past.
Indeed, but also at the same time, I think we're aware that this is probably going to come about because we are so professional at what we do.
Yes.
Currently, right now at the Carmel Art Association on Dolores, between 5th and 6th, we have a small showcase show going on between the plein air painters and the in the studio painters. Okay, so we have myself being a studio painter. I don't do plein air for no particular reason, except I'm really not that good at it. But I prefer the studio work. But we also have some wonderful plein air painters. So it's kind of a friendly rivalry show that we have annually, you know. And if you come, you'll enjoy it, and you can see the contrast, and yet you can see the similarities in so much of this.
But so one of the things that we've talked about, two things. I think it's very important for a young artist to have some entrepreneurial background, to you know, be in a understand that you do have to make a living, and so you have to be good at all these things, and you can't let somebody else be your promoter or somebody else be your marketer.
Sure. That's no longer necessary, because now because of the digital world, and my wife cringes every time I say this, the digital cosmos, okay, we now have access to all these tools, and if you're not lazy and you go after them, they're there. And I've noticed, since I've been involved with the digital world, and that means being on the internet and having my own website that my wife manages and takes care of for me, so I can just do the fun part, painting, the access has gotten so much more friendly and easier. Remember the old dial-up with Redshift here, you know? I mean, out in Carmel Valley, it was like buzz, squeak, you know, all those great sound effects in the background. I kind of miss those sometimes. But now with the access to everything, and particularly I was working on a project for Sleeping Bear Press out of Michigan a number of years ago for a book that was called M is for Masterpiece, and it was an art alphabet book. Well, the author I was working with, David Dominiconi, said when we get to the letter Y, it's for Yoruba. And I said, well, what is Yoruba? And he says, well, it's a West African country who perfected the lost wax technique about 2,000 years ago for their little deities. And I said, my God, where am I going to find these models to work from and the scrap for this? So I thought, I'll give it a shot. So I went to eBay, and eBay, believe it or not, is a great resource for subject matter for something like this, because there was someone who had some Yoruba deities cast in bronze using the lost wax process, and they were for sale. And if you're going to sell something like that, it's like selling a Cadillac, okay, or a Ford station wagon or something. You want the best shots, lots of shots, and detailed and high res. So immediately, right there, I had all my subject matter that I needed. So Y is for Yoruba.
There you go. So it is an amazing golden age. You know, I know writing. Okay, French poet. I need a poem. Boom. I Google it with one hand over here. I don't even have to stop writing. I can look something up online and boom, and it's just changed the way.
We have access to all these tools.
But tools are tools.
Agreed.
And the bedrock of the work that you have to do, and why associations are important is because competition is important.
Very much so. Very much so.
Competition in art is key, because you want. The only way you're going to make it is if you're working as hard as you can, and as smart as you can, and as genuinely as you can.
And you bring our artists bring in the work every month. You know, they bring in a piece, and we do the hanging, and get everything up, and so on. It's a very spacious interior, and when it's done, I can feel the artists asking each other, you know,
what do you
does
think?
My piece blend in?
Does it hang?
I don't want it to blend in. Does it hang well? Does it work? Yeah.
Does it hang? And the point is, if your work isn't good, it brings down everything else in the room. The weakest link, you know, the weakest link brings down the room.
Consciously and subconsciously, each of the artists every month look forward to the next month. When you thought that was a good piece, wait till you see next month's piece. And that bar keeps going up. You know, every month.
Everybody thinks art is a solo occupation, and it is in its way.
It's a solo creation.
Creation,
yeah, okay.
But the energy that it takes, it takes the group to create how am I going to transcend myself? How am I going to be better?
I think there's very much of that.
Where's the next? Yeah. Because it's easy. The one thing in art, as you know, is that you can repeat yourself endlessly.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
You know, without any.
I once read of an artist who painted.
You can fake it.
I once read of an artist who painted, and he was in love with the Mona Lisa, and he painted in his lifetime 24 Mona Lisas, each one as good as the previous one, but that's all he painted.
which is
I think the black hole of where artists should go. You know,
Yeah.
it's not good. But as you said, the bar raises every month. There's new things, and once in a while, some new techniques and new things will come on. Like, we have a couple artists that are working on one of the new mediums called Yupo. Okay, I believe that's how it's pronounced, and it's actually a plastic surface to paint on. That includes watercolors, water-based
Wow.
things, and oils and things. And it's non-warping, okay? It comes in very large sheets, and I know a number of artists who paint on it. Very stable, chemically very stable, and archival. So, you know, there are new things coming along all the time.
I like, you know, I've seen your stuff reproduced in metal, I believe.
Oh, yeah, yeah. New technology, too, yeah.
And that's cool,
Yeah.
because the colors just bang.
Well,
you know?
it's amazing because it's produced on industrial strength aluminum that has a high gloss white enamel on the surface. The print comes out of an Epson printer utilizing their new technology called dye infusion. Goes into a felt line press, clamps down for 45 seconds, heats to 400 degrees, comes out and peels that off. What's happened in the process is the inks and the pigments have been vaporized into the white enamel. So you can hang it outside. It's 100% waterproof, highly UV resistant, great for kitchens, bathrooms, etc. Or use it for a serving tray, whatever you'd like.
It's cool. So you know, again, like we say, people don't have enough wall space. Any surface, any place is a place for art.
Yeah, and
the T-shirt, the coffee cup, the side of the car, whatever.
Shower curtains, duvet covers, for sure. It's everywhere.
What's art and what's not art. The beautiful thing of the age that we live in is the artist says this is art, or this is not art. You know,
absolutely.
And you get to make that.
You get to make that decision.
You know,
for sure.
and that's cool. We're at the age beyond isms, and
I think you're right. Absolutely.
And all isms are available to us.
Absolutely.
And that's exciting. But again, it takes that core to know how to use that freedom. That freedom is useless if you don't know how to.
For sure. I like to tell my fellow artists that because of technology, the digital world, digital cosmos, whatever you want to call it, now especially there isn't any place we can't go and anything we can't do. Okay, whether you want to paint a replica of a historical event or just to be crazy and goofy or whatever. If you're comfortable with that and that's your thing, do it. I mean, nothing's going to stop you now. And the camaraderie that's built at the Carmel Art Association is a lot of those trading of ideas, okay? Not only ideas, but, oh, great idea. Wait till you see what I bring in next month.
But you have to have a voice and an original voice.
Agreed.
Nobody needs, if you're saying something and somebody else says it better, then nobody needs you.
True.
You know, so you have to be an original voice and you have to say it well.
I think so,
because it's brutal. It's a brutal world.
It can be.
And you know, again, for a young person going into it, you have to know that you have to compete against everybody else. You're not competing against your classmates. You're competing against every artist that's out there. And then you're competing against every artist of all time. So you better be ready to fight that fight or forget it because it's a crowded world.
Oh, it is indeed.
But you know, so anyway, so the Carmel Art Association, one more time, tell them where it is.
On Dolores between 5th and 6th. We're open 7 days a week, 10 to 5.
And if you want to know more about Will Bullas, I'd try willbullas.com.
willbullas.com.
Okay, good. You're watching the YourTown television program over here. YourTown TV, yourtown.com. We'll be back. Thank you for watching.